This is Andrew Griggs with MMA Assault, and once again, we're here with Andrea KGB Lee, getting ready to whoop some more ass in Invicta. For Invicta FC 10, I believe, isn't it?
Yes.
In Houston? Mm-hmm. Okay, and you took this fight, what, on, was it 2.5 weeks notice, something like that?
Something like that, 2, 3.
Okay, and you'll be fighting Roxanne Modaferri, right?
Yes.
Wow, that's a catapult fight right there for sure. And shout out to her fighter that couldn't make it.
Yeah, right. Thank you.
We want to get into a few questions. Some people want to know some different things going into this fight. First one's going to be, what does it feel like stepping into the cage with someone that's basically a pioneer for women's MMA, that basically kind of paved the way with Strikeforce and all that. Somebody with such a storied background as Roxanne Modaferri.
Well, it's definitely an honor to me. It's a great feeling to have been offered this fight, and this only being my third fight. So it's a huge honor for me to fight Roxanne. But at the same time, to me, I'm just looking at her like another opponent. I'm not trying to think about, what kind of name she has for herself. To me, it is just another fighter.
So are you happier to face her later on in her career, or would you rather caught her earlier in her prime?
I'm happy to fight her early now. I guess this would be later in her career.
Yeah, this would be later in hers, earlier years, for sure.
I guess either would have been nice, either way, but I'm definitely happy it was later.
Yeah, take it when you can get it, right? Okay, and number 2. All right, Thanksgiving. I know that's got to be a rough time for fighters. How hard was it for you to stick to your diet, your meal plans, and your Herbalife shakes from Kid Kong? How easy and or hard was it to stick to all that while you're watching Donnie stuff his face?
Well,
I know he tends to do that when you cut weight.
He does, but he encouraged me to eat. My weight has been really good for this fight. I'm lower than what I normally am, and I'm not like really low, but I'm right where I need to be. And we worked out before Thanksgiving that morning, and I was able to lose sweat off a couple of pounds, so that gave me the opportunity to eat. And I was happy, and I filled up, so I actually got to enjoy Thanksgiving this year.
Good, all right. So now, what new tools have you added to your arsenal, ahead of this fight?
Well, we've been focusing a lot on my wrestling and my jiu-jitsu, just kind of like working on staying out of her guard. She likes to pull guard a lot in fights that we have noticed. So, we've been just working on stuffing that and keeping it on her feet. But the drills that we have been working, in case I do get taken down, I'm feeling very confident about that, and I'm feeling very good about my ground too.
Okay. Now, right after you took this fight, I say maybe like a day or so after you took this fight, she actually posted a video, thanking you for taking the fight, and then cutting to Darkwing Duck and saying, "Let's get dangerous." What was your take on that? I mean, was it just funny to you?
It was funny. It was cute, but it also shows. To me, it shows that she's feeling very confident about this fight. I think.
That's good. That's
a
good.
Thing.
We want her to go in confident and underestimate you, if you will.
But it was really cute, and I didn't think she was being rude, or I didn't take it the wrong way in any way.
No. That's one thing you've got to give it to her. Out of all the fights that she's fought, I don't think she's really had a legitimate beef.
No.
Really with anybody that she's fought. Some fighters like to do that, some fighters don't, but really good sportsman, as far as I've seen.
Yeah, she showed really good sportsmanship.
Yeah, definitely. Now, did you bring anybody in for this training camp for this fight? Maybe to train and roll around and work with on some things?
Well, over Thanksgiving, my friend Mandy Polk, she came in and to work with me. You know, she's a pretty strong wrestler, so we've been working some things, and really appreciate that. I really appreciate her coming out here.
Yeah, we love us some Mandy Polk down here in Louisiana too. Now, let's see. Now, what would a win over someone like Roxanne Modaferri with, you know, with her past and her history in women's MMA, and what would a win over her at this Invicta FC 10, what would this do for you?
Well, it would definitely open up a lot of doors, I think. You know, a lot of people probably want to be reaching out, maybe want to sponsor me, you know, who knows. Maybe get, you know, some more, I'm sure like a lot of people want to be interviewing me afterwards. I really feel like a lot could happen if I win this fight. She is a pioneer, like you say, you know, and she's known for her part and on Tough, you know, and she fought in the UFC for a short time, and
Strike Force as well.
I mean, she's fought on a lot of great, huge, big promotions, you know. So a win over her will just definitely prove to everybody that I belong in the top 10, and that's where I want to be. That's what I want to say.
And then, of course, her cult following, if you will, over in Japan and overseas as well. So, yeah, I think that would definitely get your name on a few people's tongues.
It'll definitely put me on the map.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Now, how much did it mean to you that Invicta and Shannon and those guys thought of you for this fight when her fighter dropped out?
It really means a lot to me that they think so highly of me, just, you know, off of my one-time performance so far for them. You know, I think they see some potential in me, and, you know, they felt like, you know, that this is a good opportunity for both me and her. You know, I mean, it was you know, the opponent that she was supposed to be fighting was, you know, a lot more highly decorated than I am as a pro, and so for them to give me this opportunity is a huge honor, and I really, you know, want to thank them. I want to thank you, Shannon, now for giving me this opportunity. You know, it really means a lot.
Okay. Now, how does it feel to be fighting a fight of this caliber so close to home, where all your friends, family, and, you know, everybody can actually, you know, within driving distance, for them to come and see you? What does that mean to you?
It definitely means that I need to win this fight. I don't want to be losing in front of my home crowd. So, you know, the pressure is there. I'm going to have a lot of people in the crowd. I'm going to have a lot of people, like fans and friends, you know, watching on the on the UFC Fight Pass as well. So it's just, you know, it's just as much pressure for me as it is for her. You know,
now, how do you handle the pressure going into a fight? You know, each fighter has something they do, something they like to channel, you know, to keep the nerves calm and kind of keep the pressure from getting to you. And was that a factor in your Invicta FC 9 debut at all?
Well,
besides tripping on the camera tables.
You saw that. Well, for me, like the way that I handle each fight, I just think about one fight at a time. I don't try to think about, you know, what's going to happen afterwards, you know, what kind of doors are going to be. I mean, I don't like to think about the things that are going to put a lot of pressure on me. I just like to think about the fight one step at a time. You know, I just take it one step at a time. Just focused on the fight. I'm not thinking about, you know, like Roxanne. She's fought on Strike Force, Bellator, I think, and UFC.
A little bit of everywhere.
A little bit of everywhere, you know. I mean, yeah. And if you think about those kind of things, you know, it can make you a little bit nervous, and, you know, you can get a little bit overwhelmed, you know, thinking about all that. And I try not to think about it. I don't want to think about it. All I want to think about is just her being another opponent, another person that I'm trying to beat.
Basically, you just picture a shadow, you know, just.
And I just tune everything else out. I'm just like, Donnie, be quiet, stop.
So
Putting all this pressure on me.
now, there's a lot of fighters, they have like pre-fight rituals, things that they have to do, you know, kind of type things going into fights, you know, like Dustin. Dustin has to have like his fruity flavored gums and, you know, different. Is there anything in particular that you have to do for every single fight? You know, any kind of ritual, pre-fight ritual or anything like that?
Really, there is nothing that I can think of. I mean, we do the same thing with every fight we go in. You know, we just loosen up, right in the hands, and I'll just sit there. I guess for me, like I'll get down on the floor. This is pretty much what I do. I'll get down on the floor and I'll just stretch and relax and clear my mind and just think about the fight. And I'll just go over and over and over in my head, and I'll just be in a stretch position, you know. And that's just the way that I calm myself. I calm my nerves, like I breathe, and I'm focusing on the breathing, and I tune everything else, everyone, and I just focus on my fight. And as I'm stretching and loosening up, that I do every fight. So that's probably the one thing that I do.
Okay. Before that gate closes and that kill switch flips, right? Okay. Now, I've seen a couple of different articles where you know, some of these journalists have referred to you as the next Ronda Rousey. Now, me personally, I mean, I see it as far as, you know, your wins, your perseverance, things like that. But, I mean, really to me, Ronda's more of a one-trick pony. You know, until she starts actually standing and banging with some, and showing some of the skills that, you know, that she has and quits depending on the arm bar. I mean, that's kind of the way I see it. You know, what's your take on that?
In my opinion, I don't think that, like, this journalist being Eric Bolden, I don't think that he meant that I was going to be the next Ronda Rousey. I think what he meant is that I was going to be like the next, like the way that Ronda Rousey is the face of the 135 weight class division.
Yeah.
I think he meant like I'll be the face of the 125 weight class division, the way that she is the face.
Yeah, see, and that's the way that a lot of us that actually know you, you know, kind of look at it. But, you know, there's some of those people out there that are uneducated.
Right.
When it comes to KGB, and you know, they see this, and you know, you've got your internet bullies, and you know, people, you know, just talking smack. And
I don't think that he meant by like I'm going to be the next Ronda Rousey, you know, and I'm gonna push her out of the way in any kind of way whatsoever. That's not what he meant, not at all. It just meant that.
No, we're not bucking for a super fight, okay?
Right.
Not this early.
No, he just meant that I'm going to be hopefully the next face of the 125 weight class division. I think that's all that he meant.
Yeah, and I think you would definitely be a great ambassador, you know, for the UFC and for this new division.
That's what I'm hoping.
You know, and I know that's what we're looking for sure. Now we've got a fan question from Eric Deffenbaugh, and his question to you is, would you ever consider a nickname change well, I'm not going to say if you get called into the UFC, when you get called into the UFC, because we all know it's going to happen. You know, if they required you to change your nickname or your fighter name, it's KGB, you know, would you take any consideration into that, or would you just immediately tell them, no, you know, that's me? I mean, how would you react if they asked you?
If Dana White, you know, came up to me and, you know, felt that it would be best for me to do that, then I would consider it. You know, I mean, I would have to. The UFC is where, you know, I want to go eventually. So, you know, and that would definitely be something that I would have to consider.
Yeah, he slaps that contract in front of you and says, okay, lose the KGB and it's yours.
Right. But I don't see that happening. I mean, KGB, it's just a nickname. I'm not like a communist, but I mean we have a lot of Russians that fight for the UFC. We have people from all over the world that fight for the UFC. So I don't see why they would just single me out. You know?
See, and I think his point was probably, you know, there's so many sensitive ass people out there that get butthurt about the stupidest stuff, you know, and me personally, I don't want to see it change. He commented and said, you know, hey, he thinks it's really cool.
He likes it. Yeah.
He likes it, you know, and but
I think most people do, and I think.
Have you had any kind of haters
only like
talking
once.
About it or anything like that?
Only once on Twitter, and they were talking about if you knew what they did, you wouldn't want to use that as a nickname. But I mean, like this isn't politics.
Yeah, I
has
saw
nothing
that.
to do with politics.
A little bit ridiculous there, but
can get a little bit out of hand.
Slow down.
Slow down.
Slow down. It's not that big of a deal.
I don't know anything about politics really.
And also, we had a question from our buddy Mike Newcomb. Shout out to Mike. And he wants to know, what was your favorite amateur title? You know, your most prestigious amateur title that you won ever. You know, out of your amateur MMA career.
Well, I loved my legacy title. You know, that was a big deal. That was my last huge fight that I had. I mean, I have my Muay Thai Triple Crown. You know, I have my belts from the IKF but I think that like the legacy one's definitely my pick, my favorite.
Okay.
But I love my world championship though.
Told you, Mike. And now, do you have anybody that you want to thank or anything like that? You know, before we wrap up.
Yes, I would like to thank Article 15 Clothing. This is actually one of the shirts I'm wearing. I know it's inappropriate, but hey, it's cute. But Champion Nutrition, Classic Stone. I would like to thank Amber Elite Sports, X9X Martial Arts Life. I would like to thank Larkin Development and Cash Time. I would also like to thank my gym, Karate Mafia, and I'd like to thank Elite Combat Academy and Dement Brothers Boxing. I would also like to thank my coaches, Donnie Aaron, Mark Peters, Brent Mason, Jake Dement, Eric Sands, even Elliot Lopez, and all of my training partners from Karate Mafia and Elite. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you, Alan Smith. Thank you, Robin White, for helping me drill and work on some things. Thank you all.
All right. And I want to thank you for actually taking the time. I know you guys are leaving out tomorrow, so we really appreciate the time, before hitting the road. I know you got a lot of things to do before you head out. And I want to thank Elliott Fight Dynamics. Speaking of which, I was talking to Wes about maybe we can get you censored up. We'll have to we'll have to talk about that.
We'll have to talk about
little bit of give you that little extra edge when it comes to the striking, because they definitely do great work. And guys, of course, we appreciate you.
Thank you to all my fans and my friends, my family. Thank you everyone for all the support. Thank you, Drew, for having me today.
No pictures
for coming
this time.
out of your way and
No
doing
pictures
this interview.
this time, though. I'll have to work on that. I'll have to get you another one for the next.
Oh wait, also I need to thank Kelly Carson. Thank you for everything that you do as well.
Oh yeah, we love Kelly.
No.
We do. And I think that's about it.
That's it.
MMA assault is so in your face it should be illegal.
Should be illegal.